Have I Got News for You has been with us now for really quite a long time, and it's always funny, and it appeals to all ages. And it is another example of the British great affection for satire.
I enjoy Have I Got News for You, not least because I'm absolutely astounded at the people that go on when you get Boris Johnson, for example, who allowed himself to be skewered by something that was so obvious that you would be astounded he hadn't thought about it. He took it with reasonable good humour, but why do people present themselves in order to be butchered in this way? And of course, I got a soft spot for Paul Merton anyway.
Have I Got News for You is one of those programmes that I actually rush home to see and hope to catch it, if it's not the first time, with Parliamentary Business, at least on the replay. And it's one of the highlights of my television viewing.
I find Have I Got News for You, the few times that I've seen it, is sort of self-indulgent and completely unoriginal, unfunny, politically correct. They try and be iconoclastic, but all they are actually is entirely in tune with the prevailing orthodoxy. The one thing they aren't, therefore, is in the tradition of irreverent humour they pretend to be. So, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think they're serious contenders.
As long as Ian Hislop and Paul Merton are on there, Angus Dayton's good, but he's a clothes horse, isn't he? Let's face it, he's only there to show off the Armani, isn't he? But Paul Merton, surrealism, off the edge of the world, wonderful stuff. I mean, you never know what he's going to come up with next. I mean, God knows what he's smoking, but I'd love to have some of it.
The best thing about Have I Got News for You is, as I said, the blood content. It can be phenomenal. The hit rate is astonishing, and you just are literally petrified. It's the most frightening hour that I've ever spent of my life. I'm not joking.
I think Have I Got News for You suffers when they have guests who are politicians, because guests who are politicians tend not to be able to take the mickey out of themselves in quite the way that the journalists do. But it's surprising when you get a rather serious journalist, for example, somebody like John Sargent, who I always think of as a rather straightforward political commentator, as a panellist on Have I Got News for You. New talents are uncovered, and the programme is usually very fast-moving and very good.
Have I Got News for You on television has this extraordinary reach. It gets through to parts of the British nation which no other serious news programme does. I think many people who watch it really do get their news from it. They mean Have I Got News for You, and they take it as a description of the world which they find more relevant than the serious news. So it has an astonishing effect if you go on it, because the time that I went on it, first of all, the next week, 6 members of the cabinet who I happened to meet all said they enjoyed it. And of course, all sorts of people in the street and policemen and all sorts of other people. So you feel the impact of the show when you're on it. And the other thing I like about it is that when you're on the programme, you don't feel they totally know what they're doing.
It's witty and it's clever, something incidentally which I'm no good at. Charles Kennedy's brilliant at that aspect of politics, and it's very useful to you in the House of Commons. So I watch it with amusement and often with admiration. But great humour? No, I don't think so.